Hey everyone, today on People Now, inside Harry, Meghan, William, and Kate's royal rift. Palace sources opening up in this week's People cover story.
A devastating court ruling for singer Aaron Carter. We'll tell you how he reacted and what People has learned.
Dolly Parton showing support for her goddaughter, Miley Cyrus.
We can get behind this bromance. Matt Damon and Christian Bale sparking a new friendship.
They waterboarded him 183 times.
The Report takes us inside the torturous interrogations of suspected terrorists after 9/11. Maura Tierney is here with details about her new movie.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome to People Now. Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Halfway to the weekend.
Feeling good?
It is, right?
Jinx there. We're both feeling really good.
We really are. There's a lot coming up. Look, we've got a busy end of the week, but today's going to be busy. Some really fun stuff coming up as well. We start with this week's People cover story, taking an inside look into Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Prince William, and Kate Middleton's royal rift, with a source telling us that they are on, quote, different paths now. That's the statement. All right, multiple insiders say the chill between the couples runs deeper than many outsiders realize, with the source telling us that it's hard for people to digest because everyone wants them to be such a unit. At a recent event, the four reunited, but according to a source, everyone did their duties, doing what they needed to do on behalf of the royal family, and that was that. Fallout from the rift continues to ripple across the royal family, from seating to staffing to Christmas plans, as Meghan and Harry, of course, have announced that they will not be spending the holidays with the royal family. Those close to the couple also say both Meghan and Harry struggle with ongoing feelings of isolation from the rest of the family, with a source adding that they will have to try to figure out how to be civil despite their different paths because it's just the reality of the situation they're all in. We'll have more on the divide within the Fab Four. That's coming up later in the show. On Tuesday, a Los Angeles court extended a domestic violence restraining order against Aaron Carter. According to documents obtained by Entertainment Tonight, the order was originally issued in September for Aaron's twin sister Angel and is now extended until November 19th, 2020. ET reports that Aaron will not be able to come within 100 yards of Angel or her husband Corey Conrad, either at their place of business or their home. He's also not to, quote, harass or threaten them in any way, including on social media. ET also reports that per the new ruling, Aaron will be unable to possess firearms for another year. He'd originally been asked to surrender any weapons in his possession when the temporary order went into effect. TMZ reports that Aaron was told by a judge in court on Tuesday that he's too dangerous to own any firearms. He allegedly responded to that ruling with screams of anger, saying that he would go out of state and buy more guns. After the court's ruling, Aaron posted a lengthy note on his Instagram story saying, quote, "I'm devastated by what happened in court today. My sister lied over and over in an effort to take away my Second Amendment rights, and she did it on behalf of my brother to silence me talking about how he raped and sexually assaulted multiple women." That was his statement. And he added, "I will abide by the judge's order, but I will not stop speaking on behalf of victims such as Melissa Schumann." There, Aaron was referencing allegations made against his brother Nick Carter. Schumann is a former member of the pop group Dream, who accused Nick in November 2017 of sexually assaulting her back in the early 2000s. Now, Nick denied her allegations, and in September of 2018, a Los Angeles District Attorney's Office declined her case due to the 10-year limitations period having had expired. Now, Nick also took out a protective restraining order against Aaron back in September after claiming that Aaron threatened to kill his pregnant wife and unborn child. Aaron ended his Instagram post saying, quote, "I'm saddened by my family and what they've done to me. Your lies have broken my heart." People has reached out to reps for both Aaron and Angel for comment. All right, the Taylor Swift Scooter Braun drama continues, with Braun sharing a cryptic message on Monday night about kindness. Braun tweeted this image reading, "Kindness is the only response," and then he captioned it, "Words to live by." The tweet came just one day after Big Machine label group, which now owns the master recordings to Taylor Swift's first 6 albums, announced in a statement to People that she was cleared to perform her early hits at the American Music Awards coming up on Sunday. Last week, Swift released a scathing Tumblr post, which she shared on her Twitter as well. In that, she accused Braun and her former label head, Scott Borchetta, of blocking her from performing her pre-Lover songs in a medley at the upcoming award show, where she's due to receive the Artist of the Decade award. In that post, she also petitioned her followers to reach out to Borchetta and Braun, telling fans that she didn't, quote, know what else to do. Well, hours later, Big Machine Label Group, which is owned by Braun, responded in a statement on their website and denied Swift's allegations, accusing the star of false information. Taylor Swift has yet to comment on the news that she can perform her older songs, but regardless, we can't wait to hear her performance at the American Music Awards this weekend. Regardless of all the drama, we love the songs. All right, on to this wild story. Ray J's wife, Princess Love, is alleging that he left her and their daughter stranded after an award show in Las Vegas over the weekend. According to Entertainment Tonight, the drama began when Ray J posted a since-deleted family photo from BET's Soul Train Awards in Vegas on Sunday. In the photo, he smiled and posed with his pregnant wife and their nearly 18-month-old daughter, Melody Love. But in an exchange captured by the Shade Room's Instagram account, Princess reportedly commented on Ray J's post and wrote, "Left me and Melody stranded in Vegas and blocked me from calling. Now you want to post family photos." Princess also added the hashtag #BuyUgly and a laughing, crying emoji. All right, according to E! News and the Shade Room, Princess, who's currently expecting the couple's second child, gave more details on the situation in a since-deleted Instagram story, writing, quote, "Yes, I can fly home. I have my own money, but my car is here, and I don't want to drive back alone with my daughter because I'm over 8 months pregnant. And I don't even want to have to stop for gas or go into labor with all of this human trafficking going on." That was her comment. A rep for Ray J did not immediately respond to People's request for comment. Princess and Ray J tied the knot in August of 2016 and welcomed their first child, Melody, in May of 2018. The couple announced Princess's pregnancy on Instagram in August, revealing that their second child will be joining the family in January of 2020. Last month, the Love and Hip Hop stars shared their extreme gender reveal that included a helicopter ride and blue smoke for a baby boy. We'll keep you posted on that story. Jenna Bush Hager opening up about returning to Today after baby number 3. After 3 months of maternity leave, the former first daughter returns to a rotation of early morning calls, the tapings, parent-teacher conferences, and promotional appearances for her children's book with her sister Barbara. That book is called Sisters First. She's definitely keeping busy with all this. Jenna telling us in this week's issue of People, quote, "I know I'm going to miss out on some stuff for my kids, but I try to focus on what I can do." She admits that life is slightly chaotic for her at the moment as she adjusts to having 3 kids, but she adds, "I think if we beat ourselves up for everything we miss, then we're not as happy of a parent as we can be." I agree. Jenna and her husband Henry welcomed their third child on August 2nd, Henry Hal Harold. Henry joined 2 excited big sisters, 4-year-old Poppy Louise and 6-year-old Margaret Mila Laura. The baby's arrival has been a joyous time for Jenna after an emotional year. That year included the deaths of her grandfather, George H.W. Bush, his wife, Barbara, and her maternal grandmother, Jenna Welch. Here's a sweet detail that Jenna shared with us. Before her death, Barbara Bush embroidered Christmas stockings to be reserves for the Bush children, including Hal, even though she passed away before he was born. Jenna says, "What a beautiful blessing, what a beautiful thing that she did so that all 3 of my kids will have that." And she added, "Hal will never meet her, but they're so ingrained, literally in this case, in the fabric of our family, that he'll have a stocking that his great-grandmother sewed." That is really sweet. As they recover from the losses, Jenna says that her father, former President George W. Bush, has stepped up. She explains, "He checks on us and really checks on all of the family. He's a lovely, thoughtful grandfather and dad." Jenna also opened up about bringing some of the lessons that she learned from her own parents into her home now. She insists on an equal partnership with her husband, saying, "In a time when probably a lot of dads weren't showing up, my dad showed up, and he helped because there was no choice. There were 2 of us at the same time, and they were equal parents." Jenna says that she tries to feel grateful in the overwhelming moments because it's been her dream to be a mom. And on top of that, she now is working beside Hoda Kotb, whom she admires and loves so much. She says, "In the moments of complete chaos, I try to just think this is the life that you've always dreamed of, and now you're living it." For even more on Jenna Bush Hager, you can pick up a copy of People. It is on newsstands Friday. Let's move on to this. Skier Bode Miller. He's competed in 5 Olympics and once raced on just 1 ski. No big deal. But helping his wife Morgan give birth to their twins was a new extreme. Miller telling Today that the experience was, quote, "one of the most crazy things I've ever experienced." The gold medalist and his mom, Joe, stepped in when the midwife got stuck in traffic as Morgan went into labor. Oh no, Miller explained, "My mom was a midwife, but she hadn't delivered babies in 20 plus years, and she never delivered twins. We were both pretty relaxed, pretty casual, but we were certainly not qualified." Qualifications aside, the baby boys arrived after less than 30 minutes of labor. Mommy Morgan tells People, quote, "I'm really just over the moon that it went as smoothly as it did and that they were as big as they were. They're super healthy. The delivery was fast, not necessarily easy, but no issues, no problems, and it was honestly a dream for me." Because of all the chaos and differing opinions, Bode and Morgan haven't picked out names for the newborns just yet. Morgan adding, quote, "It's a daily battle. In time, it will come and it'll fit them perfectly, but it is a process." That's kind of funny to hear. We had that same kind of thing that happened. It's a big decision. The twins joined the couple's 4-year-old and 13-month-old sons, as well as Bode's 6-year-old son and 11-year-old daughter. Morgan also tells People, quote, the biggest challenge has not so much been 2 babies. It's 2 babies and a 13-month-old and a 4-year-old who both still really need a lot of love and a lot of attention. And it's finding a way to prioritize for them to still get that one-on-one time. The family's expansion follows a terrible heartbreak, of course, after their 19-month-old daughter, Emmy, accidentally drowned last year. Morgan felt her presence during the delivery. She tells People, quote, there's no question in my mind that she had her hand in this. She's still very much here. We, of course, wish them all the best. Now, Andrea, you have more for us in Star Treks.
Yes, we are kicking off Star Treks today with one Bachelor involved in a few romance rumors. Nick Viall may have revealed a little too much on his Instagram recently. In a new episode of the Lady Gang podcast, Brad Behavior, the former Bachelor sat down with Brad Goreski, who did some super sleuthing on Nick's Insta. Brad revealed that a now-deleted post showed Nick getting dinner with actress Rachel Bilson. Oh boy! The photo may not have shown Rachel directly, but Brad claims that he recognized her by the white asymmetrical dress that she'd been wearing earlier that day. That is some super sleuthing there.
Detective over here.
Nick, who had been fending off romance rumors with both Bilson and fellow Bachelor alum Demi Burnett, came clean and admitted that the two were having dinner together, saying, we hung out, and our friends were there too, a bunch of people. A rep for Rachel did not immediately respond to People's request for comment. The duo were first linked after she appeared on Nick's podcast in July. They both posted photos with each other, have since been spotted on Instagram getting flirty in each other's comment sections. I would like to see this couple happen, right?
I would too. No,
He's
absolutely.
looking for love, she's beautiful, he's beautiful, the two would be a wonderful couple.
It works well. It'd be like another starry couple to come out of the Bachelor world, right?
If he's happy, we're happy. All right, moving on to this. From day one, there have been sparks between Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes, even if they didn't know at the time how to respond to their connection. In an interview with Rolling Stone on Monday, Camila is reflecting on the relationship and its admittedly awkward start. She tells Rolling Stone, quote, during I Know What You Did Last Summer, I really bonded with him as more than a friend. She adds, I think he did too, but we were both really young and he was experiencing the pressures of his career. At that time, Camila was 18 years old, Shawn was 17. The pair, who had another hit collab on their hands this summer with Senorita, weren't exactly sure how to act on their chemistry at the time. But with this music video, we knew it was there. Camila added, she said, I don't think we knew what to do with those feelings. It was this awkward thing where we both liked each other, but we weren't together. It was just weird. Now, eventually, after time and their busy schedules had them drifting apart, their paths crossed again, and this time, when they started hanging out and writing, sparks flew. But they didn't officially put a label on their relationship until the 4th of July. The two have been going strong ever since, displaying PDA courtside at NBA games, even getting tattoos together, that permanent ink. It's the thing.
It's real. Love's real.
Recently, Camila paid tribute to her boyfriend with one of her songs, Used to This, which she introduced during an intimate show in LA for her third album, Romance. Camila tells Rolling Stone, quote, the song is basically about when you're friends with somebody for a really long time, and you know someone for a really long time, and then you start dating them. And then you're like, oh my God, this is so weird because you've been my friend forever. She continued on saying, but I like it, and I could get used to this. All right, Dolly Parton and her goddaughter, Miley Cyrus, might not be related by blood, but the saying that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree still applies here, okay? In this week's issue of People, the country legend opens up about her relationship with Miley and agrees she is following in her footsteps. She tells us this, quote, Lord, I've done everything, and what I ain't done, I intend to. She's going to do that too.
I thought you were going to do the accent.
Why, do you want to do it?
No.
I'm just going to read it as is.
Okay.
All right. Dolly adding, Miley's smart. Miley knows what she's doing. I know we think she doesn't and might not every minute, but I still know that she's got good stuff in her. But when it comes to giving Miley advice on life or on her music, Dolly says she'd rather, quote, live an example. She explains, I've told her some things that I think are valuable and that she uses, going on to add, I'd rather be an example rather than just try to tell somebody to do this, do that, because I don't think that's right. Everybody's different. You've got your own journey. And some people are going to help you along the way, and they can kick a few rocks out of the road for you, but you gotta walk it. And Miley has been walking it. In August, she released her single, Slide Away, just days after revealing her split from her husband, Liam Hemsworth. As of now, Miley's recovering from a vocal cord surgery that she underwent earlier this month. But like her godmother, she shows no signs of slowing down, and Dolly is very proud. Back in October, during a press conference held at her Dollywood Dreamwear Resort in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Dolly told reporters reporters that she's proud of Miley for, quote, doing her thing. She says when people tell her you need to talk to Miley, she says, no, I don't. Miley will be Miley, I'll be me, and everybody needs to do their own thing. Well said. And stick around, we'll actually be talking to one of the stars of Dolly's Netflix anthology series Dolly Parton's Heartstrings, Kathleen Turner. She tells us all about working with Dolly on the show, which showcases the stories and inspiration behind some of Dolly's most beloved songs. The premiere was held at the end of October at the Dollywood theme park near where Dolly grew up. She tells people that seeing her songs come to life on the screen is like a dream come true. And those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, stay with us. Maura Tierney will be live on our couch. Looking forward to getting her take on the dramatic final season of The Affair and her latest project. It's called The Report. That's coming up. Plus, Brandon Jenner. He's opening up about his famous family, including the Kardashians. Stick around for that.
How long we've known each other, Ken? I ever break a promise to you? I will put you in the driver's seat at Le Mans. You just shut your mouth and let me do my thing. All right. Come here.
Morning, Shelby.
Morning, Molly. I'm yours. I'll go to hell.
This looks so good. Ford versus Ferrari brings an old school movie feel to theaters and a new real life friendship for its stars. So Matt Damon and Christian Bale sat down with People and opened up about that friendship.
So they say they had a great time shooting their first film together. Christian calls Matt a good bloke and a bloody good actor. I can almost hear him saying it. The conversation opened up with what could be considered a controversial question, especially given the plot of the movie. Between Matt and Christian, who is the better driver?
Oh boy.
Matt kind of answered the question saying that Christian's a great motorcycle rider. Was that a Dodge? I don't know. Then Christian called him out for not answering the question.
They do have really great chemistry.
Yeah.
Right? I like that they're friends here. Now, Christian and Matt are both seasoned Oscar-winning actors. They're both dads. But get this, they both admit to struggling to get their kids to watch their movies.
Kind of surprising, right?
Yeah, well, Christian struggles more with his wife, who prefers his characters to him. And he tells us she really liked Trevor Resnick from The Machinist, adding that she says, I miss Trevor, you're a bleep, I want you to be that character again.
That's not the character I would think she would want him to be. I don't know, it's kind of interesting to hear. But for Matt, he reveals that he's, quote, kind of trying to force his kids to see his Oscar-winning film, Good Will Hunting. He says this, it's not working. I'm like, are you sure you don't want to see Good Will Hunting? You know your dad and Uncle Ben wrote it, right?
Yeah, and the kids' response, they don't really care.
Yeah.
But I think his kids are missing out on iconic moments like this.
Do you like apples?
Yeah.
Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples?
Last night I found this. He's detainee number 24. Have you guys used this thing before?
No, we watched your video.
They waterboarded him 183 times.
11, 12,
Everything they got from him
13.
was either a lie or something they already had.
If it works, why do you need to do it 183 times?
Maybe when the report comes out, people will finally see that.
In Amazon's new investigative thriller, The Report, a Senate Intelligence Committee staffer is tasked with leading an investigation into the CIA's torture of terrorist suspects following the September 11th attacks.
Actress Maura Tierney stars alongside Annette Bening and Adam Driver as a CIA agent who oversees and carries out the torture. And Maura joins us now. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
Good
thanks
to
for
see
having
you.
me.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Tons to unpack with it. Did you know a lot
It's
about
tons
this?
to unpack
Tons
with
to
it,
unpack. Did you know a lot about this going in, or was it completely new information for you?
I mean, I knew about it when the news broke initially,
Right.
which was 2000, I think 12. I'm not sure. So I knew about it to the extent that I read about it in the paper.
But kind of everyone knew, right?
Yeah, but the movie talks really about that personal journey of Daniel Jones, who is played by Adam Driver. So what I learned a lot about was I didn't know that it took 6 years, and I didn't know that, he really had no allies,
Mm-hmm.
no allies in either administration. And so it was really about his dogged determination to get the truth out, that was, to me, a really special, moving part of the story.
And this is such an intense story. Your character oversees the torture of these prisoners, which the CIA validated. I mean, how do you grapple with getting inside this individual's head?
I relied a lot on the director, Scott Burns, and also the writer, because I had asked him, I said, how conflicted do you want this character to be about what she's implementing and what she's watching? And he said, not at all. I don't want her to have any kind of conflict. I don't want her to be ambivalent at all. She is determined to. What happened were people in the CIA, 9/11 happened under their watch. And I think there was a lot of shame and guilt. And there were people that were like, we are never going to let this happen again, no matter what it takes. So the director helped me into that frame of mind.
Yeah, and I imagine when you take on a role like this, it must get exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Was there a way to decompress?
No, I mean, it's work, my brain, well, it's sort of like your brain understands its work, but your body doesn't. And so it was very interesting to have to be on set and watch those actors, they're, pretending, but, there were men wearing diapers and these actors had to go through that. So it was difficult. But hopefully you shut it off.
Yeah.
Just sometimes your body doesn't know.
Yeah.
Your brain knows, but your body is, when you get home, is still kind of.
When you, from an acting perspective, you've had a great career and continue to. When you take on a project like this, you've got this real life aspect. So it's diving into these stories, it's telling stories, but there's also an effect on our social consciousness. Does that feel like an extra layer of satisfaction for you?
With this movie, yes.
Yeah.
Really, with this movie. I mean, it's a story that really everyone should know about. And it's so well done, and it's a very complicated story, and it's so well written and well acted, and it's very understandable. And everybody should understand, our government. It's important.
And Adam Driver, what's the takeaway?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't work with him.
Never met through the press and stuff? You haven't really interacted
No,
much?
not at all, no. I met Annette Bening, who's lovely.
Yeah.
He was amazing in the film. And John Hamm, I've done some press with, but no, I didn't meet Adam Driver. But he's great.
Yeah.
One day it'll happen. And then
One day.
Lots of Star Wars questions. Anyway, all right, let's talk about this.
I can't answer that.
You play Helen, another heavy character, heavy story in the affair.
Yeah.
Happy with how the story ended?
I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have been happy with anything they picked, but I thought that was fun. It was fun and funny that the kids are sitting outside a hotel room while their parents are having sex. It's not, it's not typical.
If you were in the writer's room, would you have had a different thing in mind, or was this, I don't know?
I got to be in the writer's room.
Yeah.
I mean, not all the time,
Yeah.
but a couple of times. Sarah Dream, the creator, said, did I want to come in? Because they didn't know at the beginning of the season really what they were going to do. So I got to sit in once or twice when they were having discussions about it. And it was really interesting to watch.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
And a unique perspective to have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not every actor gets to do that.
No. And it was, yeah, I was flattered. It was a nice thing for me.
So did the writers know at the start of the show that Noah and Helen would end up back together? Was that something that came about as it went?
I think they thought about it. I think it took the whole season. It really wasn't until close to the end that they landed on that.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I like the thought of that just kind of unfolding almost in real time.
It kind of did, because the show can do anything it wants because of the nature of how we tell our stories.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, and on the show you have 3 children. Are you a proud mom to kind of see these actors? 4. Yeah, how was it seeing these actors kind of grow up on set?
It's sort of fascinating. I mean, especially because Abigail, the youngest actress that plays Stacy, came to see me in a play this summer that I did, and really with the little ones, that's actually with all of them. It's just she's like a little young woman now, and Julia's a beautiful older young woman, but it's touching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after the finale, I hear you went on a road trip of
Yeah.
sorts. What was that like?
It was fantastic. We went from LA, we drove up to Zion National Park, and then we went to Bryce Canyon, and then we went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
So a lot of outdoor stuff going on.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Was this, are you a camper? Like, do you,
No.
like, okay, no tent camping for you.
No.
Okay, so it's like glamping maybe?
No, I won't. No.
Okay.
But I'd take a cheap
It's okay.
motel. Like a roadside motel.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
not like I need it to be fancy. I'm just not. I don't like bugs.
Yeah. And like, don't like sleeping on the literal ground,
Sleeping
which
on
I
the
get
ground,
it. Okay.
So I'm.
Do you do well with the long drives?
Yes.
Yeah.
Road trips are really fun for me, and the hiking was fun. And it's just also a road trip there is stunningly beautiful. The Grand Tetons. It was really.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, that part of the country is amazing. All right, before we let you go, we have a little more time. Love to take a little walk down memory lane.
Okay.
It's a little segment we like to call Oh Snap.
Yeah.
In honor of your amazing career, we're going to show you a photo, and you can maybe share a memory, fun story about that time that's in the picture. Here we
Where
go.
is it gonna be?
So it'll be right here. There's the first one.
I don't know my glasses on. Oh.
Yes, and
News
we work
radio.
in production. Of course, first up is this photo from an episode of News Radio.
Yeah.
What comes to mind when you see this photo?
It's so funny that I can't see it. Oh, now it's like Steven.
Yeah, right?
And then me.
Yeah.
And then Andy.
But that era, right? What a great time that must have been.
Oh, we had the best time. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
And I just saw Steven. We were all on a plane together.
Oh, really?
Me and Steven and his wife. Yes, Romy. I can't pick one incident. One anecdote about News Radio because we just had so much fun all the time.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, everyone was really young. The showrunner was under 30. Everybody was pretty much under 30, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
to have.
Well, it's also interesting, like, you think about that project, and then all of a sudden now we've got the newsroom, and now we've got the morning show. In some ways, like a predecessor to all these other big shows.
Yeah.
Have you watched any of these new ones? And
Not yet, no.
Okay.
I really want to watch the morning show. I just haven't had time.
Yeah. It's just interesting that a project like that, in some ways, kind of paved the way for that type of.
It did, and I think it was also unique in terms of the way it was sort of had packed in a lot of jokes.
Right.
And it wasn't never sentimental. Like we never had a very special News Radio or a Thanksgiving episode, or a Christmas episode. It was always about the jokes, which I think that was the unique thing about that show. And then I think 30 Rock was in the style of it. Silicon Valley also, like less sentimental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is very real to the environment,
Yeah.
right? It's a lot more honest.
Yeah.
All right, we have another photo.
Okay.
Here you are in primary colors with Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh.
Lester, another political film. What comes to mind when you see this photo?
That was an amazingly fun scene. I loved working on that movie. Wow.
It's funny because we had Billy Bob Thornton in here recently. He said that people are always surprised that he's so nice.
I just think
It kind of hurts his feelings.
It's because he's got like a bad boy thing going on, but he does. But he's very nice, also hysterically funny. And then Mike Nichols was Mike Nichols. But working in that role, that's something. I read that book, which was based on the book Anonymous, and I read it, and I read that character, and I was like, I want to play that. And I rarely do that.
Like
I
seek
got in
something
touch with
out,
you seek something out, and I got to. So it was really, really amazing.
Do you still get to keep in touch with those two?
No, I saw Adrian a while back, but no, I don't. Not so much. No.
Just cheering them on.
Has there been
Enjoy their work.
Yeah.
Is there another big role that you've ended up with that you really went after in that way?
I can't. There's theater roles that I've had that aren't big roles, but I've gotten to work with certain people that I want to work with. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
All right, we've got time for one more. One of the greatest medical dramas of all time.
Oh yes. Wow.
Any favorite memory from ER? Oh my goodness.
I do.
Probably a lot of them.
No, there's too
But
many.
yeah, like how
But
do
the
you?
thing is, ER had really great gag reels.
Yeah.
They were a huge production in themselves. They were long. People made a lot of mistakes, and then there was like a musical montage part of it, moving things. And one of my favorite outtakes is Mekhi Phifer trying to say this one word, and it would just happen to us sometimes. You just couldn't say the word. And it's like 8 takes or 10 takes of him just trying to say this one word, and he the other actors were holding up a sign with the word on it, and he still couldn't get it, and he'd be like, no. And then that's one of my favorite memories of that.
And then it turns into a thing, right?
And then
It becomes
yeah.
impossible.
And then
You can't get
becomes
through it.
impossible.
But he finally got it.
He's so charming and funny. I don't know if he did.
Maybe they
I
changed
had
the
to
script.
change the word.
Yeah.
Rewrite the
They had to
thing.
do that for me a couple of times.
Yeah, so good.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
great to talk to you.
Thank you.
All right, make sure to see The Report in theaters now and streaming on Amazon Prime Friday, November 29th.
All right, moving on to this. Brandon Jenner stopped by People Now and opened up to us about grappling with fame and what it's like being part of one of the most famous families in the world, the Kardashian-Jenners.
Now, starting with when Brandon sees his younger sis and supermodel Kendall Jenner on billboards worldwide. Is it weird?
It is. I mean, it's been going on a long time, and she's, so I've seen her all around the world whenever I've traveled. So it's great. It's cool, and it's cool because like we just had dinner a few nights before my dad turned 70, and we had dinner a few nights before, and she's such a sweet, kind person. And then, like, to see her with this, like, steel look on the billboard, like, almost severe
She's just, like,
look,
upside
and
down
you're
with
like,
those boots.
Yeah, and I just, you know, it's good to see, like, the, you know, both ends of the spectrum, because she's such a kind, sweet person, and then, you know, she looks like such a badass.
Yeah.
Lately, a lot of the things that I'm recognizing in myself is the fact that I don't necessarily feel worthy of the successes that happen in my life, because I have this thing where I feel like everything was given to me and that there's not a lot of things that I've earned in my life. And that's just because I'm judging the way that other people, you know, view me. And then I also, you know, carry around this weight of feeling like I need to prove myself, that I'm not the person that people might think that I am. And I carry that around a little bit, you know?
How have your parents helped you?
And I think I overcompensate for it. I think I used to overcompensate for it a
really?
lot. Yeah, because just with my last name and the fact that the you know, other people in my family are so glamorous, how do I put it? Like very, you know, I really went the other direction. I mean, I had like this big long beard and long hair and would just wear like sweats all the time, you know. And,
sort of
and
to
I think
that.
I think so. I think it was a
perception,
big overcompensation because
Yeah.
I just wanted to like show the world like that's, you know, not who I am. That I'm somebody that wants to be judged on my character and how I treat people in the world, and not how I look or, you know, what I have.
All right, this week's People Cover story all about the royal rift dividing the Fab Four. And to give us details, we are joined by People senior news editor Erin Hill. Thank you for being here, Erin.
Hi, yeah. Hello.
Great to talk
Let's
to you.
get right into this. So what are sources saying? What are they telling us about what's going on here?
Yeah, so multiple insiders are telling us that the divide between the two couples runs deeper than really anyone has realized. And that this was really evident when they came together earlier this month for Remembrance Day. And, you know, it's really upsetting to people who want to see this unity between the four of them, but in reality, their paths are just going in different places, and just the reality of the situation.
Well, there's also, on a more practical, just basic level, two brothers growing up, establishing their own lives. There's obviously going to be growth in different directions, right? And I think some of it can just be accounted for in that regard, right?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of families can relate to this. Whenever one of your siblings marries someone new, there's a period of readjustment as, you know, priorities shift and there's different focuses. But also their roles within the royal family are so different. It's becoming more and more clear, you know, as the Queen starts passing off some of her duties to Charles, and then William then slides in. So the division is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about the recent ITV documentary that, you know, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle did? How has that impacted the couples and everything?
Yeah, a lot of emotional revelations from both of them, and the private pain that they've been experiencing from all this tabloid scrutiny, and it's clear that they're feeling isolated from the rest of the royal family. And we're hearing from sources that where eyes are open following this documentary, nothing has changed. There hasn't been this complete 180 in terms of communication. No one's reached out, no one's talking, no one's texting, so they're feeling isolated.
There's also this thing that we always need to be reminded of, that William and Kate are in line for the throne.
Yes.
Ahead of Harry because of the order. That's established. Kate will one day be queen. Does that create a rift between her and Meghan, or is this kind of just the inevitable difference between the two of them?
It doesn't at all. Sources say there's no competition between the two of them. And in fact, Meghan is very aware that Kate will be queen. There is a clear definition in their roles. But there's also a lot of differences between the two of them. You know, Meghan kind of doesn't really fit the role, whereas Kate was groomed for this. Meghan was a fully formed person when she came into this role, whereas Kate met William in college, so she really grew into the role and the royal family as she grew into herself.
Right.
Yeah, but despite everything going on, there are still some causes that unite them. What are they?
Yeah, there are a lot of special causes that, you know, that are really important to all four of them. In May, they launched a text crisis hotline that really focuses on breaking the stigma of mental health. That's one of their key causes that they all share. Of course, you know, Harry and William still really are united in continuing their mother's legacy with a lot of her causes, HIV awareness, the issue of landmines, homelessness. They both share a passion for conservation, so they're still united, you know, under a lot of these causes.
Yeah, they do so much together in such a great way. Seems like I want the rifts to be very minimal.
Yeah.
That's my dream, and I hope that everything just works out in the end. Let's talk about this, though, on a different note. Prince Andrew recently speaking out the first time about his friendship with sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Bombshell interview. He denied any wrongdoing. What's the aftermath of that interview been like, especially with regard to how the royals have responded?
Right, you were actually just now even learning that he thought that this explosive interview went quite well, and even told the Queen that it was a success. Of course, you know, he's been widely criticized for a lot of his statements during this interview, especially the fact that he didn't, you know, offer any empathy, sympathy for the victims. You know, as a result, the fallout has really resulted in some of his key supporters dropping out for supporting some of his royal causes. So it remains to be seen what's going to become of his duties officially, and of course the FBI investigation is still continuing. Whether he'll be brought in to offer a testimony is yet to be seen. So a lot of fallout.
Yeah, so a lot to unpack there. Erin, thank you so much for stopping by.
Jolene, would you get your pretty little butt up here and help me sing? Jolene, Jolene, Jolene.
You is a beauty. Those eyes, be enough to turn a man to salt.
Please don't take my man.
I think it's about time I took you out. I know the perfect place.
Jolene, Jolene.
I think the lesson is you really have to live. Find what makes you happy.
I stand here in the presence of a love I don't deserve, praying for the courage to be worthy of that gift.
The Netflix anthology series Dolly Parton's Heartstrings is based on the stories, the memories, and the inspirations behind Dolly's most beloved songs.
So These Old Bones is one of those songs. Kathleen Turner stars in that episode as a mysterious woman named Bones living in a small, smoky mountain town. But Kathleen tells me it was a character that she was at first hesitant to play.
I thought it was a bit unlikely to play, you know, a hill woman, a mountain woman. I never had tackled that character. On the other hand, that's exactly what intrigued me, you know. And then Dolly called. And she called to tell me why she wanted me to do this role, because she said it was real important to her, the old bones. And she told me, you know, when she was a kid, old bones, she lived up the mountain. And everyone, you know, thought she was a witchy woman, but she wasn't really. But Dolly said she'd go up there every once in a while, because they was 12, so they was always hungry. And old Bones would give her a cookie or a piece of cornbread. And one time she said, "Now, Miss Dolly, you are anointed." So she said, I went and asked my mama, "What's anointed?" Mama said, "Well, that means touched by God." So you see, old Bones, she was the first to know.
Yeah. And then when Dolly calls you to ask to do this, you have to say yes, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I did have to say yes. The thing about Dolly Parton, and I think her songs, or at least the ones that she chose for these stories, they have a sense of faith in them, in the idea that good will succeed. You know, right will win, and wrong will not, and people are good. Yeah. And I think that's lovely.
She also talked about how sweet Dolly was the whole time, which is not surprising.
Love Dolly Parton.
Yeah, Kathleen revealed she had to really try and get into the character of Bones, but she learned a few things along the way.
The fact that I had to completely get rid of any possible vanity. You know, they put 5 layers of age makeup on me, which took an hour and a half to get off at the end of the day. I had this endless wig and body padding, and it was just, I said, when I left the makeup trailer, I said, that's it, I don't want to see any more mirrors today, you know. Well, I learned how to crochet badly. I learned kind of how to milk a goat.
Were you good at it?
I taught someone else how to do it as though I knew. Anyway, but it was part of the script, you know. And that was very funny. And I couldn't stop laughing at that one. The whole crew broke down.
Yeah, I could tell she has a great time on set. Kathleen also made an appearance on another Netflix series recently. She reunited with her former co-star Michael Douglas in The Kaminsky Method. Now, the two starred alongside one another in 3 films: Romancing the Stone, its sequel, The Jewel of the Nile, and then in the 1989 film, The War of the Roses.
Now, Kathleen shared with me how she felt about reuniting with Michael all these years later.
It was kind of a no-brainer in a way, you know, that I would play his ex-wife. And, you know, Michael and I have always been friends, but it was fun just to fall back in the rhythms again of our of our working together.
Yeah, and as for falling back into the rhythm of working with other former co-stars, what about a Friends reboot?
Kathleen played Chandler's father on the hit series and shared how that role came about.
I was doing a one-woman show based on Tallulah Bankhead, and I was on tour, so one of the co-creators, David Crane, came up to San Francisco to see the play. And he came backstage and just said, well, I want you to play Chandler's dad. And I thought about it a minute, and I thought, well, a woman playing a man playing a woman, I haven't done that yet. So I said yes, and it was fun.
Hello, all. Hi, Dad.
I think he still calls me Dad.
When he sees you?
Yeah.
Have you bumped into him anytime recently?
Yeah, at the theater and such.
Now, Kathleen has since revealed on Watch What Happens Live that she would not sign on to play the character who was the star of a Las Vegas drag show again if she was asked today to be a part of any Friends reboot.
Well, she's had such an amazing career that spanned over decades, and she shared with me what little piece of advice or words of wisdom she would tell her younger self.
I suppose to be more patient. I always wanted to get things done right away, you know. And we have, thankfully, a lot of time.
It was so great to talk to her. She's such a legend.
Yeah, it's someone like that can just rattle off sort of off-the-cuff stories that are mind-blowing, right? Like
Yeah.
the people that she's worked with and the experiences she's had with some real other legends as well.
I
So
know.
anyway, really great stuff.
Yes, you can see more of Kathleen in her latest role in Netflix's Dolly Parton's Heartstrings on Friday, November 22nd.
All right, coming up tomorrow, everybody, the stars of Knives Out, Jamie Lee Curtis and Daniel Craig, they are dishing on surviving the holidays with family.
Plus, we are talking with Cardi B about Thanksgiving and all of her holiday plans. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from an American Idol winner. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm season 16 American Idol winner Maddie Poppy, and this is one last thing. The last time I couldn't stop laughing was the other day with my guitar player, Scott. I can't even describe the situation because it wouldn't be funny to anybody else. You know, it was one of those moments, but I couldn't stop laughing. The last time I cried, so I was supposed to sing Material Girl with Ingrid Michaelson in the finale of her show, and I practiced it first sound check ever, and I was like, I can't do this, I don't know what to do, and I felt super awkward. I went to my dressing room and I cried because I was like, I'm so awkward, I want her to love me, and I was bawling. So that's the last time I cried. The last time I got my hands dirty was last night. I was eating a taco. It was really messy. I get so grossed out, I'm such a germaphobe, I always have to wash my hands, and they felt really greasy and gross, so last night.